So I'm editing this right now, and I was like, conflict of interest. What if the things I'm saying they'll come for me? And then people are like, act like what you were saying on your YouTube channel. So I just wanted to say that for this section, we're really talking about situationships more than we are talking about guy friends. So put that in context. So most of the things that we're talking about is basically people who are living in like this weird toxic situationships, and we have gone through that, and that's why we are talking about it. We're not talking about people who are dating or people who are potentials or even guy friends really. We're just talking about those people who we label as friends sometimes, but the truth is we're doing everything the same way as a boyfriend would have had. I don't know if that makes sense, but it is just to give awareness. Like, if you are having a situationship or anything like that, this is the video for you. If you have any comments past this, I really love to hear them, because what's happening out here, people are not having boyfriends, people are not having guy friends, they're just having confusion. And yeah, that's what we wanted to get into. So I hope you enjoy the video.
If the person is your friend, yeah, even Grace, if we start talking every day till midnight, I'll be like, what's wrong? There's something wrong. Like,
we are not a cult.
This is weird. Don't get us wrong, like, having feelings is not wrong.
It's not bad, but it's a part of life.
If you're calling that person your friend and you don't have boundaries with them, every friendship should have a boundary. If they are friends, they're going to have friendship boundaries. If you guys have decided to be boyfriend and girlfriend, then that also should have its own boundary.
Exactly. But hey guys,
everything has its own boundary. But you can't just be friends and then you start giving them husband privileges. Our friendships with guys, as much as yes, feminism and yes, whatever, so many of the icky situations we have in life as 20-year-olds and teenagers,
I know,
could be avoided simply because you had boundaries.
Don't blame many people, because as I later went into high school, I started studying with these guys mostly. So it was up to me to actually find someone to talk to about these things on a regular basis.
One of the things, like, for me, I had to relearn boundary number one: don't tell one person everything, including and specifically for a guy. Don't go telling guys, one guy, this is the only thing. Yes, they're your best friend, but make sure you tell whatever is going on.
It's something
in your life
you can tell someone
your
else.
close friends. See, if they're your friends, have boundaries. Like, see what are the boundaries, because I feel like my boundaries and your boundaries are
totally different. I think what also you guys, it's not that you don't know. When you do these things, deep down you know that it's actually gonna affect me. But you choose not to listen to you.
Do you know what one of my boundaries is? This is a bit extreme for people, but for me, I realized that, when how you have a guy friend and you're like, oh, bestie, then you put hearts on the title, like on the WhatsApp state, like you've saved them, how you save them on your contact. And one day I was like, okay, this is actually getting extreme for me. Like, I'd save people, and every time they text, the hearts, many hearts come, and then I'm like, yay!
I don't do that for anyone. But if you're watching this and you know me, I'm so sorry.
I wish I knew that.
I don't.
I ended up having, like, and I went on YouTube and this girl was like, why are you saving? They're not your boyfriend. Like, for her, like, her boundary was like, if you're my boyfriend, I'll save you like that. But you're not. So, like, just the rest of any other friends I have, you're not gonna have special whatever. So I was like, oh. So I changed the way I saved them. And it saved me so much.
You noticed, like, oh, okay, this is actually working. I think for me, physically, because they're physical boundaries. And okay, now I've been raised in a community where, hugging is so normal. It's so normal and it's so frequent. And when I go back to my home country, it's a rare thing, and it's mostly done by people who are together or people who are more than friends, And so in this culture, I noticed that, of course there's a way of hugging, but I noticed, like, I actually need to put a boundary on myself on how I allow other people to hug me, because there are guys who put their hands on your waist or something like that, and you're like, okay, what is this?
And like, someone might be watching this and be like, okay, these girls are too uptight and everything.
Too much.
But let me tell you, if that is what we call guarding your heart, like I said, for everyone it's different.
It's very different.
I didn't even me used to be like, oh, hugging is not a problem, blah blah. It really is. Even for me, like it really is a thing for me. Like, yes, I hug people. Do I hug? Yes, I do hug. But if the hug is going to stay for like 10 seconds, why? Why are we hugging for
And
10
there's this
seconds?
thing, like you see a guy hugging,
And then they're like,
and that's more. Hey, like, oh, okay, I didn't know that.
you know, your wife and husband right now.
Okay, but guys, if I'm with a guy and I want to know that I am actually okay and peace at heart, is will I do this when my dad is watching? Like, for me, that's it. Okay, I'm not saying everything I do with guys, my dad has to be there to monitor. Because you guys, we have a chaotic dads.
Yeah.
I don't know about you, but
Mostly if you're a girl.
of course, the way you
Now
can.
that I think about it, this is just basically a physical manifestation of us saying that you don't tell them something. You get what I'm saying? It's the same thing as not telling one person something,
Yeah, actually it is.
but now in a physical
Now
sense.
this is physical boundaries. From emotional. We're just changing the names.
That's
It's
crazy.
the
I
same
never
thing.
thought about it that way.
Me, the end goal, if I was to describe relationships, I know we'll do this in another one, but I'll describe relationships as a journey. In terms of like romantic relationships, I wouldn't say the end goal is marriage also.
Yeah.
I mean, like I said, there are seasons in life. And there's certain, even in marriage, guys, there are also boundaries in marriage.
Exactly.
Did you know that?
And it's
Like-
and now you're basically freaking out because you're like, boundaries all my
Oh
life.
no, all my life, I'll be withheld,
But the truth
constricted.
is-
These boundaries, they're not there to trap you or constrict you, rather they're there to protect you.
Yes.
So not just the other person, like I started
And to
saying,
help
but
you
for
enjoy it to the fullest.
Exactly.
Used to think like it's a big deal, like blah blah. But do you know I'm the most happiest? I have the most fruitful conversations, and
let
people
me
don't have
tell
to
you-
call me at night.
And let me tell
You
you,
can call me during the day.
I cannot even describe myself as a diva anymore because like I actually love to get to know boys and I have a healthy, now I understand myself
It
and
doesn't
my
have to be
relationship with
weird.
boys. It doesn't have to be weird, it can be okay. And I think growing up I never had that like that assurance that it's okay to actually like have a boy as a friend because I used to kind of like distance myself. I never understood the relationship. That's why I also suffered with Peter because it's not that it
No
was
one
him,
really told you
but
about
no one even told me
that
about
there are boundaries.
because
in
again I was
general.
a diva. I didn't need to be taught. It's all a journey. And for me, I had to enjoy it because let me tell you, it's not that there are not people to guide me. Like in the season when I opened up actually, because the future point was opening up, and I was like, oh, I have a problem with this boy, I have a problem with that boy. But I was being given the advice. But trust me, it's up to you. You can have all the help you need, all the resources.
Yeah,
it's
personally.
up to you, and it took a long time for me to know that because I was one stubborn
And
girl.
I think for me, because on my side, on my end, is because I was very feminist. I used to be like, I can wear whatever I want. I can make many guy friends if I want. That thing of Christians saying, oh, CG, like you should guard yourself. CG. I'm like, it's just a guy friend. And God was just like, yes, it's a guy friend, but you're busy out here just giving them boyfriend
Jumping,
responsibilities,
yeah.
you know, giving them having the expectation of them to be your boyfriend, yeah. And I was like,
By the way,
exactly, like,
because you know you can meet this guy, and I think it's toxic if you ask me. Because if you actually don't put boundaries, you're just saying, "Oh, I wanna be toxic. I just wanna these things to be toxic." Because I see people, girls who are tough, of like they're talking about toxic relationships. I'm like,
where, how?
when I was 12, I was thinking how I'm gonna eat the next pizza on the following weekend.
At the end of the day, as I grew up, I realized like,
We are still growing, literally.
yeah, oh, it's still growing.
Guys, we are not 30 or 40, clearly.
So when I grew up, as I'm still growing, so weird, but I remember like I looked back earlier, like around last year, or even earlier this year, and I was asking God for girlfriends because I realized like as much as I have a lot of guy friends in my life, when I realized I have boundaries and the things I can't really talk to them about, like I can't tell them, like for me one of my boundaries was like if I tell a guy I really like a person, for some reason we end up having a weird, I don't know why that happened. I was like, no, I actually need a circle of girlfriends around my life, and that's my
it became a necessity.
Yeah,
in a sense,
and I was like, yes, I do need girls, not because girls think the same, but because there's just a beauty in what we can talk about as girls, and I won't feel like I won't be stepping over a boundary. Do you get what I'm saying?
That's a good one. And it actually goes with boys also. Like boys, I know boys, but the guys talk, imagine.
Yeah, and take it like these same guys that she's talking about also have girlfriends, but they also have a brotherhood that they can talk about things. Yeah, so I feel like for me, I didn't, and I'm starting to get that sisterhood now, and man, I thank God because it saves me from so much. It saves you from so much, and I mean, go have guy friends. Don't be weird.
Don't be. If he talks about some things only with you,
because the guy has not said he's your boyfriend, don't act like he's one.
Please don't.
Please. It will save you so much. Me, I said, unless the guy comes to me and tells me I'm your boyfriend, I am not going to save your name in weird, like with hats and everything. I am going to still have boundaries of you as a friend. I'm not going to treat you any special than any other friends of mine.
Because we talked about the boundaries, but someone out there is wondering, what if, like, I'm wrong, like, I'm a bad girl. Someone is asking, someone out there is wondering, what could happen if I actually step over this? Like, what are the consequences? Or someone is actually in that situation, but they're wondering, what's the worst that could happen? They're in stage 1. They're wondering, what could possibly happen?
Yeah.
What would you say from your own experience are some of the consequences?
You never have peace. Mostly if you're a Christian, you actually never have peace. Because truth be told, this is the cycle. God convicts you, you grieve, but then it reaches a point where he convicts you and convicts you and convicts you to the point that you don't listen and you don't listen, and to the point where your conscience stops feeling anything
when
whatsoever.
Your conscience is dead, it's a dangerous zone.
It.
It's a dangerous
then you do
zone.
things
you can
and
do
don't feel
anything. Let me tell you, those boundaries you thought were boundaries, you don't even know if they're boundaries. Like, you can even step over them.
That's so true.
And even things you never even thought you could do, that's when now the danger zone hits. And I think for me now, I was in that season of grieving, and I was not having to make a choice. Like, I had to make a choice, and thank God, community really matters, where you fellowship, get out of that season in a healthy way, especially with some of the church events and fellowships, and that's why community is so much important, guys.
So true.
Like, find a place where you can have community, have fun, because sometimes you just need to relax and to just be somewhere with people and laugh.
And trust me, they might not even say,
you don't have to like
they might not say anything that you're really going through, but just the fact that they're there and they worship
that
God,
matters.
And you see that they chose a life of God. That in itself, like it helps you.
It's kind of like
strengthens you. You're in a situationship with a guy where you gave them girlfriend, boyfriend, responsibility and expectations, and now they're your friend, or you like them and you can tell they're just your friend. First of all, accept it. They don't like you, move on.
And even if they might know that you actually, what do you actually feel? And if you know
it's God for it.
It's God for it.
Why are you fighting?
Why are you in it in the first place? Why are you dating? And one thing I wanted to ask you, I mean, everyone does it different, but do you think, like, if you now accept this guy as your boyfriend, should you hide?
Thank for hiding and what are you hiding? Who are you hiding?
These people I used to hide with, I don't even know if I was together with them. I'd call them childhood friends, guys. You just label them as childhood friends.
You move on.
And just move on, guys.
That's so immature.
Personally,
so when they call you, you'll be running. Hello. I love you too. Please, in our 20-year-old self, God forbid.
It's
Should be a whole episode of itself. But basically, guys, have your boundaries. Everyone has different boundaries, and this we said some of ours, and you just go check yourself. Don't lie to yourself. And if you're in one, God can save you. Be strengthened that we went through it.
Yep.
That you can go through it. That you can actually choose God and have a very beautiful, amazing life, and have a very healthy relationship with your guy friends.
That's
That's it for today.